So say you took it apart, tried to reverse engineer our perfect trigger. I understand, but now you can't put it back together. Great job. Luckily for you, we care about you and our trigger. So now we're going to show you how to assemble the thing and get you back in the game. You started with this. Perfection. Now it looks like this. A bunch of tiny little pieces. The first thing we got to do is put your trigger back in with your slave pins. The slave pins lock into these notches on the shooter's left side of the housing. Now take your trigger, you'll see the disconnector here. Underneath that is a hole. Take your return spring and your disconnector plunger, fit them together like this. Once they're together, slide them into the hole, with love, of course, and your disconnector now should be spring loaded. Like so. Take your trigger spring, find the end with a 90-degree bend, and slide it into this hole right here. And make sure it's rested around this boss. Now, slide your housing on in this orientation. The disconnector hook needs to wrap underneath the sear. Might take a little finagling. You got this. Line up the holes as such, then drop in your first slave pin. Flip the housing around and make sure the pin is locked in place. The next thing we need to do is put our spring and our hammer together. You want it in this orientation, with the bend on the inner kink of the hammer, with the legs facing out. Once that's assembled, like this, insert the hammer into the housing and line up the holes, dropping the second slave pin in place. After you've completed that, check to see if the sear has movement, and that the trigger also has movement and pulls on the sear. Cock your hammer back and click it into place. Make sure it functions properly, keeping some resistance on it so that it doesn't break one of your fingers off. Thing fucking goes, alright? Now, flip around to the belly of your trigger and install your blue bumper. And voila! She's back together. Try not to fuck it up again. And enjoy.